And making the magic happen, we are live on Instagram and YouTube. I'm just trying out YouTube this week and live streaming because it's super cool. Hello, Stuart. So today I'm going to talk about coming alive. You know I love talking about that. And to come alive, we need to loosen our grip on control, which can be challenging to do, yet it is so liberating. And I know in the process of coming alive in our life and in our body, we want to, or we're seeking more freedom and more ease and more fun and more joy. So just to give you a little background about me, if we have not met, my name is Ashley DePaulis. Yes, we all struggle with that. It's definitely a practice because we've been conditioned by society to, do everything so perfectly and structured all the time. Don't be messy. So anyways, my name is Ashley DePaulis. I am a movement and energy practitioner, and I work with women who essentially get kind of stuck in their mind doing the work. So whether that's healing work, whether that's career work, working towards their growth and evolution and achievement, they get kind of stuck there experiencing that all intellectually, and that disconnects them from their body. So we want to bring those two back in unity so you can experience that aliveness, play, and joy as part of the process. A lot of times we think with achievement that we'll experience the joy and fun and pleasure when we get there. And that's typically not the case. If you have ever set a big goal for yourself and thought that when you got there and when you actually do get to the goal that you're going to feel totally different and happy, usually you end up a little disappointed because you're like, wait, I thought I was going to feel this way and I don't really. And that's because the joy, the pleasure, the happiness, the fun is all in the process, which is why we want to ease the pressure on control. It's why we want to, hello, Steph, good to see you. We want to ease the pressure around, trying to figure it all out before we take the action steps that provide us the feedback in the process. And when I talk about joy and having fun and all of that, that doesn't mean everything feels good all the time. That is not the case. We're always challenged in certain ways. So it's how to navigate those challenges, how to navigate the emotions that come up with those challenges. So we're not like, I can't stand this. I don't want to do it anymore. You guys know what I'm talking about. I feel like you have to know what I'm talking about when you are on your way to achieving something and it just feels frustrating the whole freaking time and you're in your head about it and you want to cry. Even though I'm not a crier, so I'm not a big crier, I might feel like I want to cry, but I don't actually cry. So if you're somebody like me, then it might be like that. So anyways, Steph says, ready for this. Thanks for going live. Good, girl. I'm glad you're here. So in the last few lives, I talked about, different parts of our body. So I talked about the back, the hips, the shoulders, and how when we're in, so it's not that rigidity and structure is bad. It's not. We need it. And it's not that only play, fun, ease, and joy are good. It's and. We need both and. So it's not one or the other. And our mind, our ego, likes to think about it as if I have this, I can't have that. Or like that we're giving something up if we choose one or the other. And that's not the case. That's just an illusion. So if there's anything that you hear today as step one, it is that recognizing when you get into a mindset of one or the other. It is both. You can have both. And depending on how you're navigating a situation, it's using discernment to know which one you need to lean into a little more at certain points of time, if that makes sense. A great way, or one way I like to phrase this when working with people, it's like different choice points that we have throughout our day and where we need to lean a little more. It's just like doing a dance. It's like doing part of the reason I created, if you've been around with me for a while, why I created the Inner Athlete. It's like being athletic and being able to navigate these challenges. It's not and it's all physical movement, or it's going to feel like physical movement to you because you are living on the physical plane doing physical things. So if that's anything you take away for being taking the first step in the process, it's that. Where can you lean a little more? Where can you dance a little more? Where can you and that's part of that fun. That's part of that joy. It's like, ooh, I get to try this, or I get to try that. It's not just this like narrow sliver of a focus and that's all that's available to you. And when we get caught up in the control, we do start to really narrow our focus, and it gets harder to tap into the joy in the process of getting to where you want to be. That process of healing, that process of growth, that process of achievement, it's all one and the same. So it's how you're being along that path. Chrissy says, feel like I am always failing that way. So when we get into the mindset of I'm not doing it right, I'm doing it wrong, I'm failing. So everything that you do along your journey to wherever it is that you want to go, if you don't know actually where you want to go, I'd say kind of figure out where you want to go. It's not like you have to have this like clear path of where you want to go. I actually advise against that. It's not going to be like super clear all the time. But if you have a goal for yourself within your career, and that's getting a specific type of job, or whether you have a goal for your health, whether that's eating better or moving more, it's like these little steps every day. It's feedback for you. You're not failing at it. It's feedback. You're recognizing, okay, what can I do a little bit better today? What can I do a little bit better in the next moment? It's again, going back to, it's not one or the other, it's both. So you're not failing, you're just receiving feedback. And that feedback tells you the next choice point that you want to make. So last week I was saying about the back, the hips, or the last few weeks, and then the shoulders. And so this will give you an idea of kind of the sweet spot between the pendulum swing that we experience between I'm failing or I'm not failing, or I'm right, I'm doing this right, or I'm doing it wrong. So with the back, that's indicative. So if we look at emotion and how emotion is expressed in the body, the back is indicative of feeling supported or lack thereof support. And in terms of this live, I want you to think about this as internal versus external support. So how we're supporting ourselves. So if we are looking at our goal and we're constantly thinking that we're failing at it, then that's not being very supportive of self. So of course you're not going to feel supported. So it's that support or lack thereof. And if we're constantly on that path of feeling lack of support, then that can then show up. It can show up anywhere in the body. So I want to be very clear about that. But it can specifically show up in the back. It can show up especially in the spine, because the more flexible our spine is, the more flexible we are in life. or we can be, is the thought in life. So that's the back. The hips are either we're being flexible in our movement, so that's going forward, or we have fear of moving forward. So again, it's that ability to navigate those extremes. Then the shoulders is how we're carrying that weight. So are we carrying the weight of our challenges with a more joyful attitude, or are we carrying it with a very heavy and dense attitude? And I also want to insert this here, that there are certain challenges that we come up against. So again, this is nothing is good, bad, right, or wrong. It's all feedback. We may notice that some challenges are easier to face than others. And as you go, I'm 41 years old right now. I don't know why I say it like that. I'm 41 years old. So I know in the many years that I've been here and been doing personal development work and healing work, that you're going to come up against similar challenges over and over again. You just have a different vantage point on them. And you have, thank you for all the love and hearts. I love that. Thank you. I wanted to acknowledge. So you're just going to have a different vantage point on it, and you're going to be able to navigate it and move through it more quickly, because you're going to, all that feedback that I'm talking about, you're going to become just very self-aware of, where you want to lean into your comfort or where you want to lean into your growth edge. And sometimes that you have to be like super compassionate with yourself at those times. And then sometimes you may have the feeling of like, it's go time. I'm ready for this. So again, it's that navigation. So you notice that some challenges are easier to face than others, and that is okay. You're having a human experience, and it's not all going to be easy and pain-free. So it's recognizing the attitude. So how long are you sitting in a particular attitude with things? And when we're in a particular attitude that is heavier, more negative, more dense, however we want to look at it, usually it makes us feel more stuck and we have that fear of moving forward, then that's when we start to close ourselves off. That's when we start to isolate. That's when our body starts coming into this position. We get very protective, and having to work through that, it takes a longer period of time because it is heavy. So recognizing you can allow yourself. So it's not about denying those emotions or those particular attitudes, because they are relevant to the full holistic experience we're having. It is, how long am I willing to sit here? Versus when we're kind of unconscious to it, like when it starts happening, then we tend to sit there longer and we tend to dwell. And that's when the overthinking and overanalyzing and all those things come in. And then when we think we're failing and we're not good enough, and, we all walk around with those feelings. It's just, are they activated or not? Kind of like a virus, if you think about it. Because we also walk around with numerous viruses, and either they're active or they're not. So it's the same type of thing with these emotions, feelings, or attitude. How long are we going to keep them active? And how long can we lean into, I think one of the scariest things, and I think for women in particular, but people in general, is it scary thinking about it as a virus? Is that what you're saying? It is, but it's like a wake up in a way, like, whoa, okay. Because our bodies work how our bodies work. All these things are the same. We just tend to think of it all differently. as like, this means this and this means that, but it's all happening in and through you. So anyways, what was I saying? I was saying something. It was good, I feel like. Yeah, the virus distinctions and the emotional states of being, yes. I forgot what I was just saying. If you guys remembered, then please tell me. I'll take a sip of water. So, viruses, emotional states. I think I was just saying, however, it's okay. It wasn't you. I think that I was just wrapping up the attitude, like the attitude that, oh, I know what I was saying. So I think one of the hardest things or most challenging things is to feel comfortable feeling good. Like all of us are it's so easy for us. We know what it's like to feel pain. We know what it's like to feel bad. We know what it's like to feel stuck. So that's almost like our norm. That is our norm in most cases. That is our comfort zone. And that's why when things like when we allow more of the, oh, I can have fun and accomplish my goals too, like it feels very foreign. So we tend to, like, as we're making something a habit or part of our lifestyle, it's easier to forget about it because it's not a norm. It's easy to think that it's something extra to do on our to-do list or extra on our to-do list. Like one way that I made my choice to lean more into joy today was actually to choose a top, which is not something I have to put something on to go on camera. So it's not something extra I'm doing in my day that's really hard and challenging, but I felt like putting on a top that was colorful and playful and fun, really connected me to that part of myself that is playful and joyous. And I'm still here doing my thing, accomplishing a goal. You know what I mean? So it's those easy things that we can do that we often think are insignificant or don't really matter. And they actually do matter a lot because it elicits a feeling within us, and we bring that feeling forth into our work and into our connections with other people. And that there are also easy ways to start leaning into, I'm just going to do this like a music video, leaning into our fuller expression of self, but also not just struggling all the time, Like I think when we get stuck in doing the same thing over and over again, like because that's kind of our everyday life, we have the same routines. Like I'm somebody who has to follow a routine in some respects, but I also leave some space in there to flow and make different choices. That's kind of how you bring in the different energies of structure and rigidity also with fun and play. So they both work together. It's just like the masculine and feminine energies working together. So it's, again, not one or the other, it's both. And that is one way I chose to do that today. Yesterday, I chose to do that by working outside for a period of time. So not just staying in my house, which that's super easy to do. It's super easy for me to sit on my couch and work. And I feel like I've done so much. I want to actually, well, I can't do this actually. I can't show you my couch, but my couch is funny to me because, and you probably have a spot like this in your home, where I have done so much contemplating or so much feeling in the struggle and so much feeling bad on my couch. So I kind of associate that with those things with my couch. And I'm like, why do I want to sit here and work? Why do I want to sit in this place and work? It like doesn't make any sense if the energy that I want to be in to bring energy and fun and play is not that. So it's little things. it's the little things. I promise you, it's the little things that make the biggest difference. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. If you have any questions, then please drop them below. Specifically, what I wanted to also share about control is that, I've been working with control for the longest time. I don't even know how many years, but not only are we conditioned to control and manipulate, and I don't mean these in negative ways, our experience or our bodies, which is one place that we tend to do that a lot. There's a lot of judgment, punishment, restriction, and control that we place on our bodies. So looking at the relationship that we have to our body, and just going throughout your day and recognizing where you are placing that perspective or mindset on your body, and where that's showing up in your body, and if that's causing tension or it's causing immobility for you, is a good place to become aware of where you're carrying some of that weight, because that is emotional weight that turns into a physical manifestation. So that, and I had a profound moment with control this weekend where, my biggest big trauma has been in car accidents. And that being my first one at 19 years old, where I broke my back and my cheekbone and my ribs and my ankle, like all kinds of bones. So I have always associated, and this is where this awareness of where we're leaning and where we're navigating comes in big ways. And this is what creates like bigger shifts or leaps in our accomplishments or achievements or moving towards our goals. So when you have any trauma, we tend to want to control our experience more because we don't want the bad things to happen. So for me, one of those things had to do with driving. And so I associated control with cars, and I associate freedom with cars as well. Again, it's both. Like they're in a juxtaposition with each other, but they also serve each other, if that makes sense. So I associate control with cars. I want to be in control when I'm in my car in the driver's seat. Like having somebody else drive my car feels super uncomfortable. But also, one of the avenues, so trauma I've shared before, if you've been around for a while, it touches every aspect of your life. And one of the biggest areas in which I was left to do the most cleanup was in the financial sector of my life, due to trauma and decisions and all kinds of things, and certain things that were out of my control as well. So one of the decisions that I made, because I had a leased vehicle, was to give up my car this weekend, because the lease was ending, and I decided that I wasn't going to continue it because I barely drive my car anyways. So, and I live in this city, and so it's easy to get around. So I decided I'm going to do this. And the day that I was going to turn it in was on Saturday. And I was doing something in my kitchen, and I just had this profound moment of, oh my gosh, my car represents control. Like I didn't consciously think about it before then. My car represents control. And I had just been speaking about, usually we have to let go of something to bring in something new. That's always the case. Even if we don't realize it at the time, like something has to go for something new to come in. So I knew that was occurring, but then I had this light bulb moment of, wow, my car represents control, and I'm handing over control and surrendering to the greater universe, to God, to source, like how I'm going to get around and how life is going to look after this. Like I don't have it all planned out. I just knew that it was doable and it would help me financially. And so that profound moment of like another layer, like letting go of another layer of control and surrendering was super profound. So, and that came after doing it in all sorts of other ways and continuing to do it. It's not like it just ends now. It's like leaning into that more and more. And the more that we can do that in our life, that will show up in how you move through life. It's going to show up in how you feel in your body and how you feel about yourself. It's going to support you. So going back to support of the back, it's going to create more flexibility in your experience. It was so funny because so many people were saying to me, like, what are you going to do now without a car? And I'm like, well, I drive my car like once or twice a week. There's Lyft and Uber. There's friends that could pick me up. Like I thought of all these like there's so many ways, but when we get so used to, so this is like the rigidity of our thinking and the human brain, that when we get so used to doing things on our own and for ourselves and not being inclusive of others, like I thought about, oh, like I don't ever really ride with friends a lot because I have my own car and they have theirs. But how great would it be to have that connection during the time of travel or whatever? There's like numerous other ways to do things. Not everyone in life has a car. How are they living? Oh my God. So it was just a funny realization for me, but we're like blinded or unconscious to those things when we're living in a particular way. So everything's available. It's just what we're putting our attention or where we're allowing our attitude to lean into. So I feel like that is perfect, whole, and complete. And that message is, and if this resonated with you in any way, and you want to have practice and accountability around how you're navigating challenges, managing your energy, and how that's showing up in your body, like where that's showing up and how you can shift that, I have a mini course coming up. It's a 3-week mini course that starts on Monday and August 24th. And what that entails, I'll put a link below, but there's also a link in my bio. What that entails is the 3 pillars of strength, energy, and aliveness, where we will look at what your current struggles are, where your opportunities are to shift and lean into different energy systems, where you may be feeling blocked right now, and how to release and navigate that energy. So embodiment practices for you, so on and so forth, all the things. The link is in my bio. I would love to have you if this resonates. And yeah, we start on Monday, which means that a lesson will drop. And it's not a lesson like do the work hard. It's something to integrate into your day to elicit a new energetic state for you, a new emotional state for you. Because the people that I tend to work with, they like to check things off the list. They're very high achieving, love to accomplish things. So there will be that aspect, but it will be very much practices to integrate into your day and into your life. Versus doing some hard study work. It's meant to be fun. And then on Thursdays, we meet live, where I take you through an energy activation and release, and you get to ask questions based on your current circumstances. Yes, list checkers. Same, which I have an awesome, I'm going to share something with you, Steph, because I came across it and I think it's super awesome for us list checkers. So yeah, I'm going to share that with you. Anyways, I can share it with everybody, but I know stuff. So I'm just going to message her. If you guys want it, then you can message me and maybe I'll make a post of it one day, but I can't promise how fast that'll happen. Anyways, I'd love to have you. Talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye. Bye for now.